Hey guys, what's going on? Steven back again, and I'm back with another 40k video from Bricky. Bricky is back with his part 2 of every single Warhammer 40k factioned re-explained video. This is going to be my part 1. I'm going to break this video up into smaller videos just because his video is, an hour and 32 minutes on the dot. Nicely done. So yeah, this is going to be my part 1. But yeah, his part 1 video was actually very good, you know. He did a really good job on it. I like the way everything flowed, you know. We talked about the lore and then just like weaved in the factions and stuff like that. Like, you know, oh, there was the war in heavens. There was, you know, the old ones, and then the Necrons started a war with them, and then they created the Eldar, and you know, the Eldar were created to help fight against the Necrons, which, you know, didn't help, and it just flowed, you know, really good from faction to faction. So yeah, definitely looking forward to part 2 and stuff like that. So yeah, let's not waste any more time and jump right in. So this is every single Warhammer 40k faction re-explained. His part 2, my part 1. Alright, so here we go.
This video is part 2 in a 2-part series on every faction re-explained. If you've not seen part 1, you were either snatched by the YouTube algorithm, or you don't let anything, not even common sense, hold you back. And well, I wish I could be that strong. The quest to find the Primarchs was expansive and treacherous, to the point where they really should write a book about it. Despite never seeing the Emperor
that'd be a good
in
book.
their lives, the Primarchs all instinctively knew who the Emperor was. Whether it's his psychic connection to him or just plain old intuition, the giant golden god is a bit of a giveaway. The Primarchs all lived their own lives, and some lived substantially better lives than others. Rabute Gilliman of the Ultramarines rose through the ranks of his walls and ended up turning an entire sector into a high-functioning society, where others, like Mortarion, lived on the poisonous hellscape of Barbarous under the boot heel of his own adopted father. When the Emperor arrived,
Not everybody got a good life.
Play a little bit of catch with their daddies first, and some didn't trust the baseball bat he was carrying, and some didn't want to play at all. Eventually, one by one, the Emperor returned his sons to his side to bring them back together.
Eventually all the sons
one
came home.
happy family who needed a good cleaning. Are you tired of boring old soap? Is your son the foulest being ever? Do your eyes sting when he comes?
Segue.
Clean that man right back up with the power of Cheeky. That's right, the brand new moisturizing bar soap brought to you by Moist Critical and Bricky approved. Nurgle hates it, but you'll love it. Bar soap is always so sticky and has a ton of fuss. But now you'll be glowing to the surprise of Lehman Russ. Cheeky soap is so
Well done with the
take a
rhymes.
down payment for the sponsor. That's right. We love this soap so much, we are operating on 100% commission. We are supported purely and only by those of you who buy Cheeky. It is the best bar soap we have ever used. That is not a hyperbole. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Take it from the man himself.
Ricky's right. It's very good.
Enjoy a multitude of flavors, including lo-fi lavender, Francis, just soap, touch grass, absolute cinnamon. Cheeky alone has made me swap back to bar soap as my primary choice. No more liquid soap for this brick. Cheeky is the play. Go ahead and go to ushiki.com/bricky or code bricky for 10% off your purchase and domestically support these videos. That's code bricky at ushiki.com/bricky or click the link in the description to learn more. Get clean now.
Not bad.
So half his sons turned on him. After the Emperor was able to bring all of his sons back into the fold again, he sent them on their way.
That's a badass picture. That's badass.
Lost worlds of humanity. Each of his Primarchs fanned out across the galaxy to accomplish this goal. But the one they were expected to report to was his favored son. And the first one found, allegedly, which was Horus. Horus was granted the title of War Master, and he certainly lived up to Big E's expectations, which were very specific and set by Big E himself to all of his sons.
Of course.
However, either intentionally or not, the Emperor did not mention to his sons some of the more chaotic aspects of the galaxy. Horus himself, while in the process of reclaiming a more advanced world, was informed of the existence of Chaos Gods, a factoid that Horus initially did not believe. To him, it was a bit unfathomable to think that his father would admit such significant information on the inner workings of the galaxy. However, he soon realized this was the truth, and this betrayal was unacceptable. With the astronomical weight put on his shoulders and his father immediately leaving it all in his hands, combined with the slow corruption of his mind by those closest to him, he began to change his tune. Horus began amassing a following behind his father's back with several other Primarchs and began to formulate plans to usurp.
You know, what would have Horus looked like
Magnus the Red
in a demonic form?
That
would have been interesting to see.
The barrier between Terra and the demons of the war. Due to this damage, the Emperor was forced to sit on the Golden Throne to assure that it would continue to function. Ultimately, half of the Primarchs would fall to chaos, and the remaining half would fight back viciously against their brothers. Horus eventually gained the upper hand and arrived in orbit above Terra itself, and after antagonizing his father enough, the Emperor temporarily removed himself from the throne, strategically putting his old friend there as a seat warmer, and went to confront Horus himself on the Vengeful Spirit, his flagship.
Now, why couldn't he have given power over to the Golden Throne sooner? You know, because it seems like, oh my god, why am I drawing a blank? Why am I drawing a blank on his name? Malcador seemed like it could have handled the Golden Throne. So couldn't he have just, you know, give him a little more time and keep the chair a little bit longer, you know, keep it warm a little bit longer, you know, let me go handle some more stuff, or what? Or, I mean, Malcador powerful, but I don't know.
The Emperor faced down his son after a heated battle and 64 novels. The Emperor managed to obliterate Horus on a subatomic level, but not before his favorite son was able to mortally wound the Emperor. As the dust settled and the traitors fled from Terra, the Emperor's body was dragged back onto the Golden Throne, where it sits permanently to assure that it continues to function. A corpse forced to constantly hold back the horrors of the war and guide humanity with his pale light, and that light is flickering. From there, the remaining members of the traitors to the Emperor fled to their respective safe havens. These are the veterans of the Long War, the spiteful, and to them, the wrong. Those who would let the galaxy burn
The Chaos Space
Imperium gets
Marines.
caught in the flames. These are the
Yep. Traitors.
And what are the achievements of your fragile Imperium? It is a corpse rotting slowly from within while maggots writhe in its belly. It was built with the toil of heroes and giants, and now it is inhabited by frightened weaklings to whom the glories of those times are half-forgotten legends. I have forgotten nothing, and my wisdom has expanded far beyond mere mortal frailties. The Horus Heresy saw the collapse of the Imperium as we knew it at the time, and half of the Space Marine legions fell to the ruinous power. Though the favored son, War Master Horus, was killed and the rebellion ended, the heretical forces retreated to the warp and remain a constant threat to this day. The twisted reminder of what the temptations of the war
Horus may be
bring,
dead,
and
but
Chaos Space Marines act as a mirror.
his actions live on.
And as time progresses, their warped taint further changes them to suit the needs of their patron deity. Though marred and absolutely mangled by the ruinous powers, they are still unmistakably Space Marines in stature and shape, and according to them, they have never been more free. After the heresy, the loyal legions of Space Marines became very strict in their organization, and their separation into separate chapters with capped numbers and other formalities was done to prevent any form of heresy from happening.
Except for the Black Templars.
The Chaos Space Marines are a bit different. Ultimately, these Marines are subject to the primary legions that fell to Chaos in the first place. The majority of these legions, the Black Legion, the Word Bearers, Iron Warriors, Alpha Legion, and the Night Lords, are supporters of Chaos undivided, either enjoying the powers of all Chaos gods or sometimes shunning them altogether. But a few of them follow a very specific Chaos god. Thousand Sons are followers of Siege, the Death Guard followers of Nurgle, Slaanesh has their claws in the Shepherd's Children, and the World Eaters are avid followers of Khorne. From there, the legions themselves are separated into rogue war bands that may
Now, how is Chaos Undivided able to shut out all the Chaos
Most
gods?
of the gear and armor
How does that
Chaos
work?
Space Marine remains the same, but stylistically it changes quite a bit to reflect the intention of the Legion or their patron god. The Death Guard's armor has become rotten and full of gaping mouths and plague-filled boils. The World Eater's sharp and violent armor reflects their blood thirst, and the chaotic noise of the Emperor's Children armor, nipple rings included, pleases Slaanesh great. Due to the taint of Chaos, the armor itself becomes less about plating and more about a new skin for any given Chaos Space Marine. Though the Chaos Space Marines have no true fear of death or numbers diminishing, there are still major recruitment efforts for their legions. However, the conscription of these recruits is a lot more chaos-fueled and is more of a forced assimilation, and in some instances, breeding. The organ implementations and other modifications are the same, and the necessity of a gene seed remains the same, but the result is a hell of a lot different.
Just a little bit different.
Space Marines is a difficult exercise. If we took my original video 5 years back and looked at the Imperial Knights section, it mainly focuses on big stompy robots. Now that I understand more, I can discuss the Code Chivalry, Throne Mechanicum, Squires, and Monarchs, and bring some more context to it. To assume Chaos Space Marines are simply the opposite side of Space Marines would be foolish, for once you understand the plight of their Primarchs, it can provide a context always needed. Horus himself turned through an overwhelming weight on his shoulders and lies told by his father. What of Angron? Angron lived as a slave gladiator for his planet's master, who took Dark Age technology and shoved it into his brain, so experiencing any emotion other than rage was agony for him. He finally leads a revolt for his fellow gladiators and frees himself from the confines of servitude. The Emperor finds him and says he will take him home, but Angron refuses. He will fight with his friends against the tyranny of his slave owners to the last. At the final last stand with him and his closest friends, slave gladiators, all of them outnumbered and on the verge of death, the Emperor forcefully teleports Angron to his flagship and none of his compatriots, leaving Angron to live and watch all of his friends die. You kept that mule core Pharaoh. Russ kept his kin friends. The Lion kept Luther. Humans, brothers, and
that
foster
explains
fathers.
so
Saved and
much
raised
about
into Legion
Angron.
ranks. But
Yeah,
not Angron, no. Did the Emperor teleport his gold-wrapped custodians down to help me in my army? No. Did he free the warhounds and order them to battle, fight alongside me? No. Did he save my brothers and sisters the way he spared and honored the Lion's kin? The way he honored Corferon? No, and no. No mercy for Angron. Angron the Oathbreaker. Angron the Betrayer. Conrad Kurz lived as a lonely boy, scrounging the dregs of a hive city plagued by constant visions of an assassin sent to murder him by his own father. Lorgar was born on a world of chaos worshippers with abusive parents, and the Emperor decided decided the best way to reprimand him was destroy his holy city. The Emperor robbed Mortarion of vengeance and suppressed Magnus at every turn. The question isn't why the Primarchs rebelled. The question is why didn't they sooner? To them, they are not the betrayers. They are the betrayed. They were under the boot of a golden tyrant, and they finally could be free from his heat.
I don't like where
Of
this is
course,
going.
things have changed a lot since the heresy.
The Emperor does no
and the
wrong.
Primarchs of the Chaos Space Marines that have survived the fall are a twisted variant of what they
I don't like where this is going.
They have all, for the most part, ascended to
The Emperor
position
knew what he
of
was doing. The
demons
Emperor's
and
right.
act as a direct connection
This is some
between their
chaos
God and
propaganda
nature.
crap.
However, due to the nature of the transformation and dedication to a particular Chaos God, their actions tend to be separate from their legion's actions. Fulgrim, for example, is so infatuated with being a demon prince of Slaanesh that he is at times far too focused on his own personal perfection as opposed to conquest and sitting around like Frankfurter on his throne. Meanwhile, Lorgar is being stalked by a bird, so he's always on edge. The most adamant against the temptations of the Chaos Gods, Perturabo, was even made a demon prince as a reward for being the one who did the most work on the great project. Chaos Space Marines are a fascinating faction because there is a great deal of cognitive dissonance that is represented in them. Depending on which faction you follow, your devotion to chaos is a sliding scale, and the representation in the universe is so varied. Some are there to reap
Interesting, like a
high
sliding
caliber kills
scale.
for their patron deity, while others are there purely to destroy the Imperium or wrong them. Some are there to torture and maim, and some are there to conquest and conquer. There is no unifying glue. They fight each other as much as they fight everyone else, and their machinations are entirely up to their warbands. You have all walked different paths, but together we have come to the same destination. The Emperor has failed us. The Imperium has failed us all. It has failed us by the laxity of its laws, the decadence of its culture, and in the injustices heaped upon those of us who serve the most loyally. It has failed us by never recognizing our virtue, never rewarding us for the blood we shed and bringing about its ascendancy, and never providing unity when we needed it most. It has failed us by being flawed to its core, imperfect in its pursuit of a perfect culture, and in its weakness against the encroachment of Xenos, breeds that seek to twist humanity to alien ends. And it has failed us most of all by being founded upon lies. The Imperium is forged by a dangerous deceit and erodes us all by demanding we sacrifice truth on the altar of necessity. This is an empire propagated by sin that deserves to die. And here on Istvan 5, we begin.
Istvan 5.
From these ashes shall rise the new kingdom of mankind, an imperium of justice, faith, and enlightenment, an imperium heralded, commanded, and protected by the avatars of the gods themselves, an empire strong enough to stand through a future of blood and fire. Naturally, however, as I have said before, Space Marines do not make up the bulk of the fighting force in the Imperium.
Demons.
So it would be ludicrous for me to not mention their dark cousins. The Code Chivalry is the side of the power of the
Chaos
Emperor's
Knights.
Knights. But what about...
Alright, this looks like a good place to stop. About 20 minutes in, so there we go. Off to a really good start. Chaos Space Marines and stuff like that. Well done, well explanation, stuff like that. Yeah, this video is really, really good and a lot more lore, you know. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the rest of his part 2 and stuff like that. So yeah, I can't wait to continue on this journey. Next is the Dark Mechanicum and Chaos Knight. So yeah, it's pretty cool. We're actually getting a little bit more lore. You know, he learned a lot in those 5 years, so hey, there we go. So yeah, but yeah, I can definitely see, you know, some of the chaos and Angron's point of view and stuff like that. So yeah, oof, that's kind of crazy, you know. Oh, I'm just going to yoink. There you go, got you out of there. That's some propaganda stuff. The Emperor knew what he was doing. Anyways, so yeah, there we go. There is my part 1 of his every single Warhammer 40k faction re-explained his part 2. So yeah, this is off to a really good start, and can't wait to see where it leads. Maybe take a little. Nah, I don't feel like screwing that up. But yeah, Chaos Knights are next. YouTube. Sometimes it wants to work, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, going through and seeing the rest of the factions. Alright, so anyways, there we go. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. That'd be awesome. Remember, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Follow me on social media. Links in the description box below. And, of course, leave me all your thoughts and comments. And, yeah, I would say if you guys got any videos you want me to check out, let me know down below in the comment section or leave a link to them, and I'd be happy to do a video on them. But, yeah, I will be continuing on with this video here for a couple more parts. So, other than that, just stick around. More videos are on the way, and I will see you guys next time.